My best friend, Jesus is my best friend. Jesus is my best friend, and I am not alone. No, I am not alone. My best friend, Jesus is my best friend. Jesus is my best friend, and I am not alone. Good morning. Welcome to Bible class with Mr. Dustin. I am so glad that you're here today, and I am so glad that Jesus is our best friend. He loves us more than anybody else loves us. But let me ask you about other people that we love. Who are those other people that we love? Well, you might be thinking about your mom and your dad, or maybe a brother or sister. And don't we tend to want to do nice things for those people that we love, or maybe give them nice gifts to those people? Maybe sometimes we give gifts for their birthday or maybe for Christmas. We tend to do those things, right? Sometimes we might even save our money up for a long time to be able to give them a gift that costs us a lot of money. Why do we do that? It's because we want them to know how special they are to us. Think of something very expensive that could be given as a gift. Well, sometimes adults will give jewelry to each other. For instance, look, I have this ring on my finger here. It's solid gold. It's actually called a wedding ring because whenever I got married to Miss Megan, I started wearing this ring that, it shows that I'm married to Miss Megan. But it's expensive. Jewelry costs a lot of money. Gold is expensive. Well, today, we're going to read a story from the Bible about someone who gave Jesus a very expensive gift. Let's read this story together. It comes from your beginner Bible if you want to read along with me. It is called A Gift for Jesus. Let's see what it says. One evening, Jesus and his disciples were visiting Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. See? Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Mary poured some expensive perfume on Jesus' feet. Then she dried his feet with her hair. See, she's putting that perfume on his feet. Judas was one of the disciples. He said, "That perfume cost a lot of money. Mary should have sold it and given the money to the poor." Look at it. He looks all disgusted. Jesus knew the truth that Judas wanted the money for himself. Jesus replied, "Mary did what is right. She honored me. You will always have the poor among you, but you won't always have me here." See Jesus talking to Judas? He's got to correct him. So that it was a gift for Jesus. Now, what do you remember from that story? That we just read it, so I hope you remember. What did Mary do? Well, she had an expensive perfume, right? He said she poured it on Jesus' feet. That sounds kind of funny to me, does it to you? I never put perfume on my feet. That's just not what we do. But back 2,000 years ago when Jesus was walking on the earth, people didn't wash their feet and really bathe every day like you and me do. And you know what? They walked around in sandals, so their feet were in what we call open shoes, and you could see their toes all the time. And they walked around in the dirt. You know what happens to your feet if you're wearing sandals walking around in the dusty dirt all the time? Your feet get really gross. So, for someone to come and wash your feet, and then pour perfume and dry it with their hair. That's a big deal. That's a huge act of love and service to that person. Now back then, perfume was maybe a little different than what you think of. We tend to think of some of these like this. This is a perfume bottle that Miss Megan has, and you can spray it. See? And it smells good, right? That tends to be what we think of, or these different kinds of bottles and shapes and sizes that we have for perfumes now. And you can really see these are what we think of. But that's not really how they did perfume back then. They didn't have those fancy bottles. Instead, it would be more like a jug, and it would look maybe more like this. This is actually oil. You've probably seen oil. Sometimes you cook with vegetable oil, and it's just different. But that's more like what they would have had. They would have taken this oil and put it onto somebody's feet, or maybe sometimes they put oil on their head. But with this perfume, she put it on Jesus' feet, and it was very expensive. And she did that for Jesus. It would not have only made his feet clean, but it would have made them smell really good as well. That was a very special thing that Mary did for Jesus. But did everybody like it? There was somebody that didn't really like it. Who was that? It was Judas, right? He didn't like that Mary gave such an expensive gift to Jesus. What did he say? He said, "This could have been sold and given to the poor." But Jesus knew the truth, right? Did he really want to give it to the poor? Or did it say he wanted to keep it for himself? He actually wanted it for himself, right? Now, did Mary do something wrong? What did Jesus say? He said, no, it wasn't wrong. He said, she honored me. He appreciated what she did, and he could tell how much she loved him because she was honoring him. She was giving him a very special and very expensive gift because she loved him. He also gave us a hint. You will not always have me with you. He wouldn't always be here on earth. So it's important for us to remember that Jesus loved her generosity and the honor that she gave to him. We can love Jesus by always showing him honor in the way that we live and the way that we talk. We can also show Jesus how much we love him by giving to other people. And again, I'm so glad that Jesus is my best friend, and I want to do those things for him. Let's sing that song one more time. My best friend, Jesus is my best friend. Jesus is my best friend, and I am not alone. No, I am not alone. My best friend, Jesus is my best friend. Jesus is my best friend, and I am not alone. All right, so today we have this activity for you. It's a little jug of oil, because back then they would have had something more like this little clay jug to put oil in. So you can print this and color it with the different browns, and then you can get some yellow tissue paper or just any yellow paper and cut it in small pieces and glue it to the bottom so that it's like oil in the bottom of your jug. And that will help you remember the perfume that Jesus had poured on his feet. And you can remember what Mary did for him, because this is like a perfume jar that they would have used back then. All right, so why don't we close together and we will pray, and then I will see you on Wednesday. Let's bow our heads. God, we thank you so very much for loving us and for taking care of us and for providing for us so many things. And because you love us so much and you have given so many things for us, we love you because you are good and you sent your Son, and we love Jesus, and we're thankful that you sent him. We ask you to help us always to honor Jesus, just like Mary honored Jesus whenever she washed his feet and put perfume on his feet. We're thankful for that example. We ask you to help us to have a similar attitude. Thank you for loving us, and thank you for Jesus. Amen. All right. Thank you so much for coming to Bible class today, and I hope that I will see you again on Wednesday. Have a good week.